All right, we are live here at the Minnesota Forecaster, and sounds like things are popping, and we have the same team of experts last night as we do today as we did last night. Tom Novak and Patrick Hammer. Take it away, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't ever want to sit there and be an alarmist, but this is a pretty serious situation that's developing over southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Patrick and I were just talking about it. Cells are now exploding southwest of the Twin Cities in south central Minnesota, in north central Iowa, and this needs to be watched. These cells are going to quickly develop and shoot northeast towards the Twin Cities and Rochester, Minnesota, and it's a dangerous situation. Tornado watch already in place, and I think it's going to be an active 3 to 4 hours. What do you say, Patrick?
We just got one wave of some thunderstorms and heavy rain and strong winds, borderline severe, that moved through about what was it, about 3:30 to 4:30. And then behind that, you would think, okay, things are going to calm down. But now that warm front is getting ready to punch back in. Temperatures in southern Minnesota already in the 70s, dew points well into the 60s. And I think we're going to see round two, let's say, early to mid-evening.
Yeah, that's correct. And round two, and let's just get right to it. You should be seeing in front of you now the radar from the Twin Cities. Now, as Patrick was saying, this area of rain here and thunderstorm activity that has now just pushed northeast of the Twin Cities has worked over the atmosphere, but the atmosphere is recovering very quickly over south central Minnesota. There is some sunshine in south central Minnesota right now and over portions of Iowa, and of course the dynamics are fantastic with this storm system, and you combine those two, and that's where you get now this second set of storms developing, and model data actually did very well with this. If you remember yesterday, Patrick and Bill, we felt that there might be two separate lines or two separate areas of storms that move through the area, and this, of course, this cell here southwest of Mankato now is one that really needs to be watched closely. It appears to have gone tornadic now, and there is a tornado warning with that cell. I don't know if there's anything confirmed on the ground, but needless to say, that looks to be a supercell that's developing and moving northeast towards the Twin Cities, and then there will be more activity, discrete cells that will develop over north central Iowa also this afternoon and evening. And the problem, Patrick, of course, is that these are not forming a line. These are scattered but very discrete supercells, and those usually are the worst ones.
Yeah, there's been a funnel cloud spotted with that storm near St. James. People may be watching this a little bit later, of course, too. But I find it interesting that it went tornado right away. I mean, that thing blew up in a hurry. What we talked about yesterday is when those storms are discrete, their initial stages can be their most violent parts of it. They can go tornadic very quickly.
How far north do you guys expect the threat of tornadoes to be?
Well, you know what, Bill? I actually think this visible satellite image is going to give you a good idea. We need some clearing to occur, and wherever the sun does break out, I think that's the area that you need to watch out for severe storms. And right now, with this visible satellite image, you can see the clearing, or at least some sunshine, breaking out over south central Minnesota all the way up to near and north of Mankato now, and that's where you can see this discrete cell, kind of this puffiness in this visible satellite loop is developing right here. And I would expect that clearing line to extend northeast to about the Twin Cities metro, and then, of course, extending further south along the I-35 corridor where sun is breaking out as we speak, and along with the sun, you're seeing storms develop just west now of the I-35W corridor in Iowa, and they will shoot rapidly northeast, probably at 40, 50 miles per hour throughout the evening, so they're going to be quick hitters.
Now, that first one, you know, it's going to be moving into some more stable air, I think, as it approaches areas north of Mankato. So if that one doesn't do the trick, then maybe the ones behind it that are closer to the warm front, that ride up along the warm front and approach the Twin Cities, you know, close to sunset.
Right, and that's what the Storm Prediction Center is saying. This red area here, outlined area, is the tornado watch until 9 p.m. tonight, and you can see obvious discrete cell located just southwest of Mankato now. But the SPC is thinking that from about the Twin Cities on south and west into Iowa, that's the area that really needs to be watched, at least until 9 p.m. this evening. And of course, that severe activity could extend further east and north into western Wisconsin as we head into the mid-evening hours.
I'm looking at that storm, by the way, down in Steele County, and there is a nice little couplet, rotational couplet on velocity, and it doesn't look huge, but certainly rotation would support the sign of that funnel. And look at that. Look at the two little things that just blew up just west and south there.
Right. Yep. This is the area that really needs to be watched. Mankato, Albert Lee, even maybe as far north as Wilmer, but that might be about the extent of it. But this whole area is ripe for severe thunderstorms, potential supercells over the next hour or two. And then, of course, you just propagate that activity a little bit further northeast so that by, let's say 6 or 7 this evening, it's going to start to get active even in the Twin Cities metro and the Rochester metro. So I think anywhere between now and about 9 p.m. is going to be the active time, and then this stuff will quickly move out after 9 p.m. so that by midnight we'll be all in the clear.
Agreed. I find this setup fascinating. I've seen 2 waves come through, but there's usually separation of a few hours, if not a half a day, between events, and to see one wave move through and then have these discrete cells so quick on their heels is truly something. This is going to be a real interesting evening.
Yeah. Patrick,
Right.
has there been much sunshine this morning in Woodbury?
We got a little bit of sun, Bill, but it kind of clouded over pretty quickly, and it never really felt hot and humid. It didn't have that feel, you know. But you know, the dew points are increasing. I mean, I saw some dew points in the upper 60s in Iowa, and that's what's coming. So it did break out with some sun, but it clouded up pretty quick.
Hey, gentlemen, this is the latest HRRR computer model. This is a high-res computer model that does a fine job of predicting 12 to 18 hours in advance. And Patrick was talking about it just didn't have that feel up in the Twin Cities, and that is true, because here's the Twin Cities right here. But you didn't have to go much further than an hour or two south of the Twin Cities on 35W or on Highway 52 to get into the soup. If you look down in Rochester, much warmer and more humid down there this afternoon. And of course, Iowa was warm and humid today. And that's the fuel for these storms, because watch what happens as we go through time today. Look at that energy and fuel that comes up out of Iowa and moves straight north into the southeastern 1/3 of Minnesota. And no doubt there is a front, probably a triple point right now, that's going to be situated. This is at about 6 or 7 p.m. this evening. That triple point is going to be located right around Mankato, maybe even the western suburbs of the Twin Cities, and then down to Albert Lee. And that's why we are expecting some tornadic activity to break out. This is again, the high-res computer model showing where it believes that tornadic activity could develop, and what you're going to look for is yellow and red colors to develop. This is at 3 p.m. this afternoon, and watch what happens by about 7 p.m. this evening.
This is the significant tornado parameter product?
That is correct. You can see the yellows and oranges and reds pretty firmly in place from about the Twin Cities down to Mankato to Albert Lee and then over to Rochester in the Mississippi River. So,
what exactly is that showing then? I know you said the red and yellow where tornado activity is most probable, but what exactly is it showing?
Well, the way I understand it is that this is like a combination of factors, and we probably don't want to get into each and every factor, but I'm sure it takes in helicity, I'm sure it takes in shear, and other parameters that when you combine them all, you come up with this significant tornado parameter. But needless to say, I mean, we're looking at everything. There are so many things that need to come together to have a situation like this show its hand, and it appears that it could happen, and that's what the high-res computer model believes. And again, I think it's going to be between about 5 o'clock this evening and about 8 or 9 o'clock this evening. That'll be the target time from the Twin Cities to Mankato to Albert Lee and then over to the Mississippi River.
The last few runs of the NAM have been showing that those high STP, we call them, values right near the metro at about the same time, and it's been consistent, right around 23Z to 0Z. So this is going to be, it's just been showing that run after run.
Yeah, you guys, this cell, I'll tell you what, this cell southwest of Mankato, now moving just west of Mankato, that is a dangerous cell. And that's the one that I'm going to be, and I'm sure Patrick's going to be looking at very closely here for the next hour or so, because this one is a discrete supercell, no doubt about it. And another one, look at this one over the southwest corner of Minnesota. Let's go to the Sioux Falls radar. Look at that one. I'm going to put the warnings up. I wonder if there's a warning on that one. Well, there's a thunderstorm warning. I wouldn't be surprised if that one becomes tornadic and a tornado warning is issued for extreme southwestern Minnesota here within the next half hour. And then, of course, let's go to Des Moines. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on this cell here in north central Iowa. That one's growing quickly. All of these cells and the more cells that do develop here in the next hour or two could become tornadic. Just keep an eye to the sky, everybody.
We need to figure out, we can actually, I think this is actually broadcasting live, even though we tend to show it to people when it's done, but there's actually a way we could do this live, and you could be competing with people on TV without displacing their favorite shows. We won't have to say we apologize. You'll be able to watch the show. You'll be able to watch the show at 3 in the morning when you really don't want to, but that would be a cool way to do it. So
yeah, you know what, Bill? Really, that's what it comes to, and of course this is a whole different ball of wax and another conversation, but what we're doing right now, this is what I see the future of weather and broadcasting, is instead of interrupting people's television programs, they're going to actually go to minnesotaforecaster.com or whatever, and they'll be able to see us talking like this and just shooting the breeze as severe weather's rolling in.
Tom, I'm looking at that cell down there, and I tell you, it's got a nice little hook. You can see a little notch where the inflow is coming in. There's some shear. It's not the highest cloud top in the world, but this is a storm that one there, I'm taking a very close-up look at it right now, and there is some definite rotation with that.
Patrick, we're going to have to show you how to do the screen share so that you can show us exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah. By the way, Bill, I've got it up here. This is the storm relative velocity, and what Patrick's looking at is anytime you see a change in the colors between this red and green, and it's a very distinct change in the color. Hopefully you can see where my cursor is here. That is a signature of rotation in a cloud, and probably maybe even down to the surface. That could be a tornado there at the southwestern flank of that storm.
There's a confirmed tornado on the ground. The tornado has been confirmed a few miles southwest of St. James. This was as of about 7 minutes ago, which means if it's moving at about 30 miles an hour to the northeast, that would put that storm or that tornado very close to St. James as we speak.
Yep, so moving just north of Mankato, this cell is likely going to move just north of Mankato. And of course, that's an area of Minnesota that has had some pretty serious weather over the last 10, 20, 30 years. That's a kind of like a tornado mecca, for lack of a better word, that area just north of Mankato. I hope that doesn't happen today, but this storm needs to be watched closely. Confirmed tornado. Yeah, and again, we need to watch this cell here in north central Iowa, and then of course this cell here in southwestern Minnesota. All of these cells could become very dangerous here in the next hour or two. Just keep an eye to the sky.
Yeah, new thunderstorm warning also for that cell northeast of Sioux Falls. So it's going to be an active evening, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so Bill, let's get this thing posted. Let's let people take a look at this video, and we're going to be watching radar, right, Patrick? And we're going to be sending out tweets and all that good stuff, right?
And from my son's soccer practice coming up tonight.
Funny thing is I've got soccer practice too, but I'm going to still be checking the radar as I'm coaching.
But you better believe it. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this St. James storm. Confirmed tornado on the ground.
Wow.
All right, guys.
All right. Okay.